Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Wraith, and today I'm going to be going over the Black Riders Legendary Legion. Now I absolutely love this Legendary Legion. I've been hoping for a Ringwraith only Legendary Legion, well, since Middle-earth started doing Legendary Legions, and they gave us one, and it's fantastic. I have done a small review when I did Quest of the Ringbearer before, and I briefly went over it, but that was before I played with these guys, and now that I've played with them, oh wow, they are fantastic. So I'll quickly go over the Legendary Legion and what we get from it and what we need for it. So firstly, of course, you need the Witch King of Angmar on horse. Everyone is on horse here. He is 80 points to 160 points, depending on what you upgrade him with might, will and faith wise. So it's 5 points per point of might, will or faith. And he starts at 0 might, 10 will and 0 fate, going up to a possible 3 might, 20 will, and 3 fate. Of course, he's going to be your leader. Give him 3 fate, please. Now we've got the Ringwraith on horse. These are the unnamed ones, of course. 65 points starting out at to 120 points. Again, they can go up to 2 might, but start with 0. They can go up to 14 will, but start at 7. And they can go up to 2 fate, but start at 0. Please give your Ringwraiths fate and will, at least. And you still want might. You know what? Just upgrade them, alright? They all come with the horses already built into their points. So usually they're 55 points for a normal Ringwraith. In the Legendary Legion they start at 65. Now, I'll quickly go over the stats of these boys. So the Witch King is Fight 5, 4+ shoot value, not that that's important. Strength 4, Defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, Courage 6. So, yeah, pretty solid. Usual Ringwraith, Defense 8, 1 wound, 1 attack, which kind of sucks. He's got a bunch of upgrades you could take, but in this Legendary Legion, you can only bring him with a horse, which is a bit upsetting. Okay, you can't give him the crown, you can't give him the Morgul Blade, nothing. But he has got Harbinger of Evil, which is a 12-inch aura of -1 courage. He causes terror, and he's got the Will of Evil special rule, which I'll talk more about in a minute. But usually, you'd lose 1 point of will each turn you're in combat. Yeah, magical powers. Drain, Courage, 12 inches, 2+. Transfix, my favourite, 12 inches on a 3+. Compel, 12 inches, 4+. Instill Fear, 3 inches, 4+. Your staff is broken, which is awesome, 12 inches, 4+. Black Dart, 12 inches, 5+. Sapwell, 12 inches, 5+. Pretty solid. The normal Ringwraiths are pretty much the same, but firstly, the heroics for the Witch King is Resolve, Channeling, Strike, Strength, and Challenge. Cool. Probably Channeling and Strike are the two ones I'm probably going to use the most on him, or have done. And then we got our Ringwraiths. Now their stat block is identical, okay, apart from they can have more, less might and less will and stuff. They come with Heroic March and Heroic Channeling, so March is always useful. They've got Harbinger of Evil, Terror, Will of Evil, and they come with the magical powers of Drain Courage, Transfix, Compel, Black Dart, Instill Fear, and Sap Will. So yeah, and all the ranges and casting values are exactly the same. Now, not the top that you can think of, 1 wound is pretty sucky, but yeah. What does this Legendary Legion give us? Well, the Witch King of Angmar always has to be the army leader, obviously. He counts as a hero of legend in this Legendary Legion, and you can only have 9 models in this Legendary Legion, because of course there are only 9 Ringwraiths. We get Terror in the Night. Terror in the Night is a really good special rule. So, a model in range of between 4 to 6 models from this force with the Harbinger of Evil special rule suffer an additional -1 to the courage value. So it'll be -2 for that model. And it stacks up between 7 and 9 models from this Legendary Legion. They suffer an additional -2 to their courage value. So they're actually -3 courage. This, of course, can be bypassed by any kind of like Fury or Bodyguard special rule or things like that. But it's still really, really good. It's one way to stop some people charging you, because you don't want to be in combat too much. You want to be charging and things like that, so you don't want to be charged. It's a good way to keep them back, especially if they're all clumped together. They don't have any kind of ignore terror tests special rules, so if you're fighting normal goblins or anything like that, they're probably not going to be getting in most of the time. Another fantastic rule, Screech of the Nazgul. Once per game, each Nazgul can cast a channeled version of the transfix magical power without declaring a heroic channeling. This magical power is automatically cast and counts as a 6, and no will points are expended. The target model can make a resist test as normal, and you have to make sure which Ring Wraith can do it, but they can all do it once per game only. A free channeled transfix is massive. So transfix is, of course, you target one enemy model, and whilst the power is in effect, the model can't move, they can't shoot, cast magical powers, declare heroic actions, call standfast, or use active abilities, and they can't strike in a duel if they win. The channeled version basically halves their fight value and attack characteristics, rounding up, which is massive. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Now, we've got the Will of Sauron. Friendly Ring Wraith models do not lose a will of point of will for being in combat, as per the Will of Evil special rule. Fantastic. So your Ring Wraiths aren't going to be disappearing just because they've been in combat. Amazing. The last special rule is called Hunt the Ringbearer, and it's kind of wacky and really themey. Basically, if you, at the start before heroics are called for the combat phase, if it is possible for one of your Ring Wraiths to get into combat with a Ringbearer, he may, following a heroic combat, he may call a heroic combat for free. And the great thing about this is there's no roll-off to see whose heroic combat goes off first. If your enemy decides to call one as well, yours will go off first. And it's very specific situations where this is really useful, because everyone else in that heroic combat can act as normal, but that one guy who called it for free, that one Wraith, has to charge a Ringbearer. And there's some pretty powerful Ringbearers out there. So you've got Isildur, who obviously has the ring. You've got Bilbo, Master Burglar, whatever, Frodo Baggins, and Gollum. They're the ones off the top of my head, and of course the Dark Lord Sauron. But that would be a bit weird if you're charging the Dark Lord Sauron, because it's his will that you're kind of working with. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Basically, you can set yourself up for a really nice heroic combat that you can guarantee is A, free, and B, will go off first. So you can, if their leader is Isildur or someone like that, you can charge into them. It's quite nice. Now, that's covering all the special rules. Is this competitive? Absolutely. Absolutely. Each of my games I have managed to win quite decisively with the Ring Wraiths. Because, I mean, there are some matchups, obviously, that are going to be bad for the Ring Wraiths. So if you've got a full shooting army in front of you, that's going to suck, because they're going to probably knock you off your horses straight away and probably take off a couple of you. But there's a lot of situations where you can win. Contest of Champions is one I hate usually. And you can basically, as long as the Witch King gets a couple of kills, the rest of your raids can nuke their leader pretty much from the first turn, because you have to start so close to each other. Nuke them with Black Dart. Done. You probably won the game from that, as long as the Witch King gets a couple of kills. You can deal with everything from banners, where you can just Black Dart them, transfix them, send them away, compel command, whatever. And you can also deal with pretty much every hero in the game. I managed to take the Balrog on quite easily by a combination of the free transfix that's channeled, charging and striking with the Witch King, trapping him, things like that. They're so strong. Getting up to 9 guaranteed free channeled transfixes is so strong. It takes out every hero. You can take out a monster quite comfortably. I love Wraiths. I use them all the time anyway, because there's a really good combo where you can sap will off a hero. So channel sap will if you want, and remove their will. It's kind of a lose-lose for them, because they have a spend will to try and stop it, and still might not stop it and lose the rest of their will, or they let it go through and lose will, and then the other race transfix them. You can also be quite aggressive with this list if you want. You can charge. You have to pick your charges, but you can charge, because there's no threat of losing that one will point each time. And cavalry charge is nothing to be sniffed at. At fight 5, strength 4, knockdown, so you're rolling 4 dice trying to wound them. On top of that, they've got the the anti-charge measure of minusing everyone's courage and causing terror. Obviously that doesn't work against everyone, but it's still nice to have. They've got high mobility, because of course almost all of them have got march, apart from The Witch King, I don't think he has much. No, the others do. So you can get to the objectives, and once on the objectives, you don't have to fight everyone off if you don't want to. If you've got a few ringwraiths around a central objective, one of them can instill fear on a 5-up, and they could be up to -3 courage, taking that test where they have to move away from you. So you have to be rather clever with these guys. You can't just charge in headlong because you're probably going to lose. It's all about the magic. It's all about darting around, chucking out spells, stopping their banners from doing what they need to do, quite easily killing them, quite easily killing heroes. Hordes may be an issue, but they usually have low courage. Okay, now I'm going to go over a competitive tactic, and don't get me wrong, this is despicable. You're not going to get friends if you do this, but it is an option. It depends how competitive you want to go. If it's a full-blown competitive game, tournament, yada, you're going to win all sorts. Go for it, but you will not get friends. Okay? Here we go. So, there are some scenarios, for instance, domination, where you have to hold a certain amount of objectives. Okay? And it's all based on objective wins. You might get some for breaking the opponent, whatever. Let's take domination, for example. Now, we know we've got 5 objectives. Your main aim is to get your guys onto objectives, more objectives than your opponent. So if you get 3 out of 5, you're going to be scoring 6 victory points straight off. And sure, if you can try and sneak a wound off the enemy's leader, which shouldn't be too hard with black darts. Okay, as soon as you're in that position, your movement phase, you're going to dump all your will into black darting their leader or whatever. Okay, instantly killing your wraiths. Okay, as long as you've got 3 wraiths on 3 objectives, and the rest nuke themselves, and let's say you did a wound to the enemy leader or you killed them with black darts because you're basically nuking yourself, you're going to score 7 victory points. They're going to score 1 because you're broken. That's a 7-1 victory. Yeah, there you go. If they have got the other 2 objectives, it's not a major victory, but it's still a victory. Now, Contest of Champions, exactly the same. Get the Witch King into combat, kill 2 guys, heroic combat, whatever, and then the next turn, nuke absolutely everyone you can into their enemy leader. But yeah, first turn you want to nuke their enemy leader with black darts, take them off the board, and then get a couple of kills with Witch King, and anyone that's left, just nuke yourself until you're 25%. It's ridiculous. Works the same for Seize the Prize. As soon as you're on your opponent's board, side of the board with the prize, just nuke the enemy leader with all your will, apart from that one guy holding the artifact. Kill the leader, and that's 7 victory points for you, and 1 for them, or 3 for them, because you'll be broken and they're not. Happy days. That's a win. I'm not telling you, just reiterating this, I'm not telling you to play like this in casual play. Do not. You will not have any friends. Okay? This is the Isengard Siege of Helm's Deep all over again with the bombs where you nuke your own dudes to win scenarios. It's ridiculous, but in competitive play, the gloves are on, you're going for the win. Sure, it's a tactic. Okay, I'm going to be playing this quite a lot because I love raids. It's in the name, Shadow Wraith. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've been using these guys, how you fared with them, and how you think this little review was. Did I miss anything potential with this Legendary Legion? I love it. I think it's fantastic. The free heroic combats have come up in one of my games, and it won me the game. Okay, the transfixes have won me the game. Yeah. But saying that, a lot of it you could have done anyway with the 9. It's just having the additional rules that have really sealed the deal with these guys. Thank you so much for listening, and if you enjoyed the video, do hit the like button and do consider subscribing. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. It's fantastic. But before I go, I wanted to say one more thing. Recently, I've been hit by horrible bills and my laptop decided to die along with my camera. Fantastic news, I know. I just wanted to make people aware I do have a Patreon page, and I think the minimum is £1 a month. If you could be so kind to donate to that to help me getting a better camera and a better PC so I can bring out bigger and better things like battle reports, more in-depth, detailed videos, that would be fantastic. Join the Shadow Cult, get a mention on the channel, and get exclusive content for you like list building and tactics and advice for factions. But basically, it's to help me fund this channel. Thank you ever so much again for listening. If I missed anything, do mention it down in the comments section below. and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.